It's hard to find a laptop that can satisfy both a creative and productive workflow, and we've always had that conundrum, whether we want better battery life or better performance. It's not always all the time we get to have the best of both worlds. My daily driver is the MSI E16 Summit, and that is a totally badass 16-inch laptop. And it's on the latest 12 gen and the 3050 Ti. It meets all my work needs, especially when I want to edit videos or when I want to edit photos because of a great screen. And sometimes I just don't want to carry such a large laptop. So I had to find a laptop that I could scale down to in size without compromising too much. And that was quite a challenge to find until I decided to just look underneath the series, and I found the Summit E14 Evo to be a pretty good smaller sized substitute. The Summit E14 managed to provide a pretty good balance between performance and battery life, and it's all thanks to the Intel Evo platform. The Intel Evo platform basically certifies laptops that are good enough for people who need to travel and work light without compromising on a lot of things, from long battery life to advanced networking capabilities and long battery life on a single charge and responsiveness while just being on the battery. And here are some of the requirements. I mentioned before, you need Wi-Fi 6 as a minimum, the latest Intel chipsets, USB Type-C charging, as well as possibly some display output capabilities, decent security, and that's about it. So the Summit E14 fits that criteria, and here it is. It's not very big at all. It's just a little compact 14-incher right here. And before I get into my workflow needs, here are some of the specs. It uses Intel's latest 12 Gen i5 with low-powered DDR5 memory at 48 MHz, which is pretty fast, a fast SSD, Wi-Fi 6E, which is above the Wi-Fi 6 requirement, and a 72 watt-hour battery pack. But I think the most important aspect for me is the display. It's not just any 14-incher, it's just like the Summit E16 in a sense of its aspect ratio. So it uses the 16:10 golden aspect ratio, which is vertically taller than other laptops, than your conventional 16:9. And I love that a lot because I get to scroll through more data, whether I'm reading emails or I'm typing articles on my website or a full review. So this gives me a lot of space to see a lot of things. And if you're concerned about, color grading for your photos, your videos, or your graphic assets, yeah, this has got you covered. It well covers the sRGB coverage, and everything just looks as natural and accurate as possible, for my eyes at least. So I definitely have done a lot of photo editing and video editing on this, a couple of rounds on Canva. Yeah, everything just looks as it should. And sometimes we just need that base minimum as creatives to achieve what we need to do, especially when color is concerned. So it's all well and dandy. As a small laptop, of course, we'll be concerned with durability, but this E14 has passed the military standard A10G test, and you can pretty much bring this around the world, even in dangerous climates. Well, don't toss it into a volcano. I mean, just let it stay in your backpack, or be careful with it. Still don't drop it. But I would say that this is built pretty solid. It's just a little over 1 kilo, and you can even push the screen all the way down so that you can have any possible viewing angle, so that you can look at your work, or you want other people to look at your work, so that you can emphasize on something you want people to see more intensely, if that's your thing. And speaking of being in the field, you definitely need a competent set of I/O ports. And with some Intel Evo goodness, you'll definitely get some on the Summit E14. So the Summit E14 has two Thunderbolt 4 ports, which I pretty much love because it has both power delivery and display output capabilities. You still have a USB Type-A there if you want to plug in a mouse dongle, if that's your thing, and a small micro SD card reader, which I guess it's because of, how small this laptop is and you can't fit a full SD card reader in there. The battery pack is pretty alright. It has a 72 watt-hour battery charged by a 65 watt USB Type-C charger, and it's a pretty small charger. Look at that. It's just a small slice of cheese on your palm. It's so ultra portable that it can fit into any backpack that I have. If you're concerned about battery life, you pretty much get 6 to 7 hours on a single charge, depending on what you're doing. If you're all about emails and documents, yeah, that's pretty good numbers. But if you're doing something more creative like editing videos or photos and creating some graphic assets, you'll pretty much be getting maybe 4 to 5 tops. And even when you're just, consuming media, like you're on Spotify or you're on YouTube, you'll still get about 4 to 5 hours still. And if you're gonna be out and about with an ultra portable, you're definitely gonna need really competent network access. So as I mentioned before, this comes with Wi-Fi 6E as the latest protocol, and you can take advantage of not just great coverage, but also gaining access to the sub 6 GHz spectrum, which is not commonly populated at all. Most public Wi-Fi spots are in 2.4 to 5 GHz, and those can get pretty populated, and that can affect your uploads and download speeds. So having access to sub 6 GHz, well, not a lot of places have implemented it yet, so it's good to future-proof for now, because that could be the standard of the future. So it's always good to be prepared. And I got to use this with my Wi-Fi 6 router at home just about anywhere without interruptions to my streams, to my cloud uploads and downloads. Everything is just pretty smooth, and definitely using this at home and outside in the field, whether you're on your hotspot or public Wi-Fi, it was all pretty good. And finally, why I stayed in this ecosystem is because of security. Not that I have classified data or something. With Windows 11, you're definitely going to get access to Windows Hello. So that means you get your standard fingerprint biometrics as well as facial recognition unlock. And if you don't want to use facial recognition unlock and just stick to fingerprints and your PIN code, you can use the webcam lock switch, which is on the side of the laptop, which is a very good privacy concern for some people. But what's more important here is TPM 2.0, or Trusted Platform Module. So this is a crypto processor which issues cryptographic keys that need to match the hard drive's own keys to authorize that boot. So your hard drive will have its own set of cryptographic keys, as well as the TPM issuing that same cryptographic key, because TPM is part of the motherboard and you can't authorize the boot if the keys are mismatched. So even if somebody steals your laptop, they can't get past Windows Hello. And what if they just, took out the hard drive and put it on another system? Well, because of that cryptographic encryption, it still won't authorize the boot because there is no match, and it already knows when TPM 2.0 is not there. The same TPM, that specific hardware TPM that's from the original laptop. So there's no way to take your data easily. And yeah, that's about it. Having that peace of mind is pretty important to someone like me. So well, there you have it. For this really great Wonder machine that I'm currently using, it only costs 5,000 ringgit. And I think that's a pretty good price for what it has to offer, from security to good networking, as well as good portability, durability, decent battery life, and of course, competent performance that meets my workflow needs for just about anything. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this laptop review has educated you in some way, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And this has been the MSI Summit E14 Evo. Bye bye.